Hi, it's Heather with another installment. Actually, this is going to be R-rated, do it yourself. Like, because it's cold and really rainy. And I'm so excited because I got home before TJ. And well, I want to work on a project I started 2 fucking years ago. What the fuck is in my pockets? Oh, I forgot to put these on the trailer. So, I renovated the kitchen two years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. I wanted, my last house, I had a 36-inch hammered copper farm sink. Loved it. It weighed 5 pounds maybe, because it was copper, it was thin. This, we needed to go like rural country, because that's what Sloth bought, and he wanted to stay. And I had no problem with that. That's a fire clay sink. 80 fucking pounds. 80 pounds. And I had to make it fit where this cabinet, I cut this. I had to cut all of this. So I have a frame that I built underneath it with 2x4s all along, like 4 posts in the corner and like 2x6s underneath to hold it up. Yeah, I mean, but I had to move that sink in and out like 5 or 6 times by myself to make sure it was fucking level and plumb and centered and all that shit. And there was almost a throwdown on that one. I almost got physical on that one. Because somebody was watching TV the entire fucking time while I kept lifting this fucking sink out and cutting. It got bad. Anyway, I go on these fucking tangents. I'm sorry. Here's the deal. Home Depot's at fault for this one. I went into Home Depot. This is going to be a very important lesson if you're not aware. I don't like granite. I love marble. I can't afford marble, and I don't like laminate, but what are you gonna do? So I don't like Corian. I was talking to the fucking countertop guy at Home Depot for months. Told him what sink I was getting. He said the only way I could get that is if I ordered custom laminate countertops. Whatever. We went back and forth for a long time. I'm like, I'm not ordering custom laminate countertops. They cost almost as much as the granite countertops. So I bought the regular stock laminate countertops. I went over all the 90 degrees, the corners, everything I was going to need, covered all the strips that go on the edges. And I think I still have extra ones. I never returned them. I cut the countertop for the sink, right? It's an undermount farm sink. And I call him and I said, I'm looking online. I can't find the end caps for the sink. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, I have an undermount farm sink, apron front, and I can't seem to locate the end caps. And he goes, there are none. You can't have laminate countertops with a farm sink. I said, what are you talking about? You and I have been going over this for 3 months, 2 months. He said, no, you can't have a laminate countertop with farm sink. I said, oh, so I can't have a shitty countertop with a nice sink. Like if I can't afford granite, I have to have a shitty sink too. Fuck you. I'll figure it out. And so I made a video a long time ago about the wood fill that I make. I make my own wood fill. I had to build out the fucking sink. This is why if you ever see my sink and wonder why it looks like this and it looks all fucked up, I just never finished it. I had to build out framing around it. So I built this over time. This is actually, that is my wood fill. That is my waterproof, homemade wood fill. I call it tuna fish because when you mix it, it looks like tuna fish. But it's not supposed to be, 2 years it's been keeping this thing dry. The goal was I have marble countertop contact paper. This is not regular contact paper. It's for countertops. So it's very thick, it's heavy duty, and it looks like marble. And I bought the epoxy kit to go over it because I had done research. So we did it. We started it. This part of the countertop over here, all the way up to the sink, has been done. And somebody commented in a video, I don't know how she even picked up on it because I wasn't even filming that part. It just like swept by quick. And she's like, how'd you do that, Mom? I'm like, wow. So I told her quickly how to do it. But I'm leaving. And I can't leave this. It needs to be protected and it needs to have the project finished. So we did this side, but this was like a practice run and it didn't go well. The contact paper, we wrapped it to give it a bullnose around the sink and we put the epoxy on it. I don't even want to show it to you because it's kind of shitty. I think it'd be better. We did not epoxy the wood fill on the left side of the sink when we did the contact paper. I am going to epoxy this. I want this whole thing around the back and the side to be fully epoxied because when that hardens, that will really make it waterproof. But it's also going to give a better adhesion surface to the contact paper. So I don't know how to do a lot of stuff, but I tell people I'm more of a problem solver. If there's a problem, I'll figure out how to fix it. It's like, you can't do that. Well, I can't do that or I shouldn't do that. I'll always look into the whys. It's going to be safe. It'll be up to code, whatever. There's nothing I have to worry about with this other than a water issue. If I have the epoxy over the waterproof fill that has been doing a great job for 2 years, that will be fine. Don't tell me that I can't have a fucking farm sink with laminate countertops, especially after we were working together for 3 months. You knew I was getting a farm sink. I'm asking you about laminate countertops. It never dawned on the fucking guy to tell me you can't do it. It was too late. I built the frame. I put the sink in. The countertops were cut and installed. It was only the detail work at the end where I'm like, where are the end caps? And he's like, oh, you can't have that. I was like, fuck, I should have made them pay for this. So I had to figure out something to do. And that's what I decided to do. I think it's going to work out really well. And that's what I'm going to do for the video today. I want to get the epoxy around the sink before he gets home. I'm going to clean up quick and get the kitchen like straightened up a bit. But I just wanted to tell you, look, I got some new tree decorations. TJ bought me a new Christmas tree yesterday because the one that I bought for here is like 10 or 12 feet tall, goes all the way up to the top of the vaulted ceiling, and it's like really huge. And I obviously can't take that to my tiny house. So he told me he would buy me a new Christmas tree. And I'm like, well, I picked a really cheap one. So does that mean I can have some ornaments too? So I got peacock! One more, I promise. I got another peacock for the tree. My whole tree is birds. Technically, I didn't lie because I told you it was me the last ornament that I showed you, but I forgot that I also got a new Halloween decoration for my new place, and it's a turquoise skull. And it's little, so it will fit in my new little house. I got the epoxy from Amazon. Comes like this. It's a 2-part epoxy. I think it totals 1 gallon. Yeah, the two of them together. And then I did splurge. My frugal ass spent like $10 or $12 on the mixing cups, which I think came with like it was a kit with the scraper. I don't know if this came with the epoxy or not. And an X-Acto knife. I will also tell you, I read the instructions the last time we did this at least a dozen times. I read the entire pamphlet because there is so much useful information in it, and it's such a specific product that has to be done in such a very detailed way that if you fuck it up, like you can't fix, there's no fixing this. Like you either are going to get it right or I don't know, maybe a chisel. I don't know what I would do if I had to. And it really is a 2-person project because the epoxy has to be mixed. Like we were setting timers. I mean, the directions, I'll read some of them to you because I don't want to make this ridiculous. I mean, I keep saying I don't want to make it ridiculously long. This one is really important because you have to mix the epoxy at exact intervals and measurements. And I know I sound like I'm jumping around, but I want to get the points out that I don't want to forget that were so important last time. Now, the reason I'm trying to do this by myself is because I'm not doing a whole countertop. I'm just doing around the sink. And I want to do it with a video because somebody asked about it, and I think even, I don't know if Anne's interested in this or not, but I know that there was a girl that made a comment on the Lysol, the brand new day, that it's not animal, whatever. She's the one that asked me. So I'm going to read these directions again. And I also want to get that sink done just around the sink before he gets home, because I was hoping that would motivate him to want to help me finish it, because the contact paper was a bitch for that corner. If the countertop was flat and didn't have the little backsplash on the back of it, it would have been easier. Getting it to come down this side and flat, along with the back this side and flat, and getting the corner to merge, we were screaming at each other. It was ugly. And so this I think I can handle by myself. And he's supposed to go hunting this weekend. It's his annual father-son hunting trip. So if I can get this done, I might be able to finish the countertop before he gets back. And then he doesn't have to do it. This has a lot of informative information in it. They give you techniques, seal coats, satin finishes, how to handle drips, creative ideas. They really do a great job. This is Envirotex Light. I did it the way they wanted us to. So the mixing, measure. Carefully measure equal amounts of resin and hardener into a single flat-walled, flat-bottom, wax-free measuring container. Let me turn it this way. They want you to measure, the resin goes in 1 cup, the hardener in the other, and then equal amounts. Then you have to start doing, then you take those and put it in another cup. I have a whole bunch of paint sticks. They're all clean, unused. You're going to go through several paint sticks. I'm not mixing very much because I'm only doing around the countertop, around the sink edge. So I'm going to get cardboard and jam it underneath the sink to catch the stuff that pours over. Once that's done, then I'll show the rest of it in either a separate video or whatever. But I also wanted to make mention, because if you decide to ever go get a farm sink with laminate countertops, not only am I putting epoxy with the waterproof wood fill that I put around the sink, I think it was Rust-Oleum. I waterproofed the underside of the countertop with Rust-Oleum, it's like cabinet waterproofing or countertop waterproofing. I forget the product, but I'm pretty sure it was Rust-Oleum. I painted like 4 or 5 layers all around the sink, the countertop underneath the sink, because it's laminate, which is like sawdusting. I'm like, this thing's gonna blow up like a tampon if it gets wet. And I was like, I wasn't buying all new countertops. I needed to fix this problem. That has held. The other thing is bubbles. It is normal to get bubbles in the surface. After about 15 minutes, air bubbles created while mixing will rise to the surface. They can be easily and effectively broken by gently exhaling on them until they disappear. A small handheld propane torch can be used as an aid in removing bubbles from a freshly coated surface. Hold the torch approximately 6 inches away from the coating and use a gentle sweeping motion. Do not hold the torch in one spot and do not have it on high flame. So I'm putting this underneath. Let's see. See if I can get these little strips down. Now, for some of you who've actually been watching these videos for a while, you like the reviews and stuff versus the newer people. I know that my older peeps, you guys have watched me on many occasions, like go to read the instructions and I'm like, fuck it, I can't find English. I'm not looking at what I'm not. I'm gonna follow these instructions. Just in time. I just did all the prep work and I was just about to start and you're home. I'm prepping the sink for the countertop contact paper. I'm not doing the contact paper today. I just want to epoxy the edge around the sink to get it prepped. No, I just need the oven timer. How the fuck is that not deliberate? Don't fucking tell me that's not deliberate. He needs water for the chickens right now from the sink. Meanwhile, almost every other time he gets water, it's from the hose in the backyard. But there's a camera here, and he's got to stand right in fucking front of it and use the very sink that I just sealed with fucking cardboard to get his water. Really? Am I the asshole? Can we do like a quick Reddit? Am I the asshole? I'm gonna do I love how these are their cups. It's gotta be perfect. I think you sell measuring cups for epoxy that has to be perfect, and then you sell them with a fucking disclaimer that says approximate measurements. That's just douchey. I did that one day when I wasn't wearing work pants and just fucking ruined a pair of good pants. I'm like, I gotta stop doing that. Just wipe shit on my pants. That really sucked. All right, so that is 2 ounces. 2 minutes. All right, so you have to constantly mix this for 2 solid minutes. It's got lots of air bubbles, but as you're mixing, they want you to clean off the stick and scrape the walls because any change in the ratio changes the consistency and whether this will harden properly. And that's why I found it was easier to have one person mixing while the other person was pouring. Okay, so now 2 minutes is up. It has to get poured into a new clean cup. And you have to scrape everything out. Oops. I'm getting it everywhere. All right. This is why you need 2 people. All right, now that I got that in there. And then you have to pour it immediately. You gotta scrape the bottom too. Right, there's my other minute. Here we go. Okay. I don't want to get it on the countertop because then it's going to thicken, and when I put the contact paper on, it'll have like a hump. It won't be even. So I'm going to pour it for now. I think I mixed a really good amount because I'm going to just get to the end and let it run right over. To just pull it off of the countertop and make sure I have it spread evenly where I want the epoxy to go. In this spot over here. That coated pretty well. I think I missed this. There's one spot over here that when it ran down, it didn't run all the way. The instructions also say that you're not using the heat from the torch, and the reason why you're able to exhale to have the bubbles pop in 15 minutes if you need to is because it's carbon dioxide, not heat, that pops the bubbles. So do not use the torch if you're going to get rid of bubbles with the heat 6 inches away from the surface. Hello, it's Heather with R-rated everything at this point. I wanted to follow up on the epoxy for the kitchen sink because it's not fully cured, but it is pretty set. And so I've decided I'm going to try something a little bit different to build that sink, the edge around the sink up. And TJ and I decided, I took the countertop, the contact paper off of the left side that came out kind of crappy, and I decided to epoxy that area also. It came out really cool. So, and the stuff that's in the sink is actually just, that's epoxy. I'm going to just show you how you can get it out. So it's got a nice shine to it. It's actually really smooth. It's level with the countertop and flush. There's just a couple of spots that I want to build it up. So I'm going to do it again. It says that you can do a second coat after like 8 or 12 hours. It's been a little bit longer. I did another coat last night, but I wanted to show you the razor scraper. So, you know, you'd say don't use the sink, and someone does anyway, but the razor scraper gets all the pieces of the epoxy out that ran down, and you can just peel it out. So, and it doesn't damage the sink. I made a mess. What I want to try to do is tape the cardboard to a spot in a few different lengths, in a few spots along the length. So this is smooth and flush. The piece that I built is smooth and flush with the countertop. So I don't need to add any here. So I'm going to take a piece of cardboard. I'm going to run it at the top, not underneath, and I'm going to tape it where it doesn't need epoxy, so that the cardboard is along the level here, along the top edge. And I'm going to put more epoxy, and I'm going to do like a little bit of a lip, so it holds it there, and I'm going to be built up. The directions say you can't do more than 1/8 of an inch at a time, but I only have a couple of spots that need to be built up a tiny bit to make it smooth and flush, so when we put the contact paper on, it won't look like ass. Hi, it's Heather with another installment of R-Rated Everything. I'm gonna do a video tonight. I gotta do a video tonight. I only have like one night left before TJ comes home, so I have so much shit going on. I'm gonna try to get this done before he gets home tomorrow. So I put over here, I've already got the sink ready to go with this has been epoxied. It's all waterproof. Oh, Coco Puff is having a bath. She had a dirty butt, and so she's having an Epsom salt bath. She's enjoying herself. Burp, burp, burp. Yeah, she has to have a bath. She had a really dirty butt, and it's not common, so maybe something's wrong. And then because she's a silky and it's cold, I got a fucking blow dryer. So it's chicken bath on top of everything else. So this was like a super fast synopsis of all the stuff that we're gonna do in this video. And I'm gonna finish giving her a bath, and then I'll be more namaste. It's Saturday night, and I'm okay with being home because I went out last night. Apparently her butt is a little sensitive, and she's not just getting a butt bath. She's fucking soaked now. She's so happy now. They have their own chicken towels. I had to wrap her in a second towel. Now she's going to be covered to be blow dried. Okay, there's my baby girl. There we go. She smells good too. She's still damp. I'm gonna have to blow dry her a little more. I want to see it. Oh, your belly's wet. Her belly's wet. I think she took a page out of my book. She's a good girl, but at one point, I think I heard some foul language. You want some blueberries? Okay, so now I really have to moan her. But now that that's done, I think that you'd probably better appreciate what I mean when I say that our sink needs to be permanently waterproofed. So I'm going to show you how I mix my wood fill. I call it tuna fish because when you start mixing it, it looks like tuna fish. I use a chopstick to mix it. Just one more great use for chopsticks. They have a plethora of reasons and great uses. I collect them from whenever we get sushi, we order Chinese food. I'll take chopsticks I can never run out of. I use them to stir my coffee. I use them to mix epoxy. I'm going to use them tonight for my wood fill. I mean, don't forget, I use them to stick them in the tube guns of the construction adhesive. You can use them in the hole in the tube for your caulk. Actually, wait, hold on. Don't stick a chopstick. Don't stick a chopstick in your caulk. You need to use a chopstick in the hole of your caulk. Not your caulk. The caulk. What? Who's sticking chopsticks in their caulk? I stick chopsticks in my caulk. I love caulk. This is a public service announcement. Please do not stick a chopstick in your caulk. You might get a splinter. But if you have construction adhesive, silicone, or caulk, and you didn't finish using it, and you don't want it to harden, you don't want your caulk to harden up. If you want your caulk to stay pliable and soft, stick a chopstick in it. I can fucking do this all night. So the marble countertop contact paper has been put over here, and I have enough epoxy to do that tonight. Definitely has to get cut more. That's folded. And then that is there. That's going to hold it. Then now you can see it easier. Now you just take this piece, hold this, and as you pull this, you can start to pull the paper from behind as you press, and that's how you get no bubbles, or much fewer bubbles. And then I'm going to stop because I don't want to pull it off of here yet. I peeled the back of the middle piece and pushed it back here, just that one small one. I'm going to pull this forward and get it nice and tight, and then follow the X-Acto knife around the faucet. How the fuck did I fucking do that? I'd take a break for a second. Alright, I'm going to try to show you a whole piece. I have one whole piece left. It just took me like 10 minutes to find the pattern. This is the correct direction. I have the countertop all scraped. I'm trying something different with the bullnose wrap around the sink, and I think it's working. So what I've done is, hang on, I've got my little bit folded in the back, and I'm going to start at the backsplash and come straight down over the front of the countertop. And since I've been messing some shit up, I just want to do one whole piece right now instead of trying to keep piecing things in. I'll do that later. So after I have some good work under my belt, I will get my confidence back up. So this is gonna go. I want it to go over the side. So like that. And then what I'm gonna do is move it all the way to the back, straight against the wall. I went from the middle out, and that one is not. Oh, that might be crooked. All right, then this. This is not cut straight. Fuck. So I'm gonna put it up a little tiny bit. Let me see. Where the fuck is this cut? It's almost straight. And that makes it. All right. We are good. I don't even think I have any bubbles. Fold this hard. I'm going to put a crease so that it folds nicely. Go right over the edge a little bit. The fuck? What the fuck? Oh. This is why you don't do it by your fucking self. What the fuck am I doing? Are you fucking kidding? I don't even fucking care anymore. This looks like ass. Oh my gosh, the whole fucking thing is fucking creased. Time for bed. I'm gonna lose it. And it's a significant difference. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, and it ripped. So it's not as heavy. I guess that first one is going to be fucked up. So this is the new one. Just same size roll. I just went back and buy again. This is so dark. And this is so not. Today's probably be very R-rated, but it's not a review. It's a continuation of the R-rated do-it-yourself epoxy countertop with the contact paper. So I ripped off the light pale one that was completely different. I used this one, and look at the fucking difference. He's gonna come home. I worked on this like till really late last night, and I'm working on it again before I go to work. I should already be at work, and I guarantee he's gonna come home and tell me it looks like shit. But he's not gonna have any idea how many hours I put it on and peeled it. Put it on and peeled the bubbles, the creases. I mean, the first roll was the best shit, and of course that's the one he used with me. He's gonna be like, I don't know what the problem was. I mean, look at this. So this is the new pattern and the new color. And here's the other one. It's like a totally different, this one goes this way. And then I got to the point where I'm going around the sink, and you know what I said? Fuck it. Now this one has to match. Now this one's going this way. I pieced it together. I don't even give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck. If he doesn't like it, he can go get new countertops. I don't give a shit. I wouldn't even do this in my own house again unless I had a very small countertop with no backsplash and just a flat counter. Maybe. But I'm so sick of looking at these veining patterns. I don't ever want to do this again. So I'm going to mix epoxy. I'm going to show you how to pour the epoxy. And I don't want to talk about fucking epoxy ever again. The part that's going to kill me is that if he does come home and tells me it looks like shit, I'm going to be heartbroken. Because he's not going to know how much effort. Like, I didn't even try to rig it. I rigged it. But only because I had 3 different fucking contact papers that I didn't know about. And he's going to be right. It looks like shit. So I'm going to show you the epoxy on the little piece that I did over here. Because that one actually looks okay. And then when I get this one done around the faucets, I'll probably just like scan the camera by quickly. I'm just, the wrapping around the sink came out pretty good. I just have to get the tape off because I had it. It's just, I would never do this again. I love the epoxy. I'm just so pissed about all this fucking contact paper. I really am. Okay, I've got my resin and my hardener measured out. I'm going to do 3 ounces of each instead of 4 because I don't want to fill the cup. The cup only holds 8 ounces. So I don't want to have to be stirring this for 2 minutes with a full cup because it just gets everywhere. So I'm going to start. Oh. No patience. I didn't hit start fast enough. It clears out. So I have to mix for 2 minutes. I'm going to use a stir stick for this because there's more epoxy in here. Shut up. Okay, so 1 more minute in the different cup. I have cardboard on the floor because you have to just literally pour it onto the surface and allow it to spread. And you want it to pour right over the sides like a fountain and make sure that you don't miss spots where you've got just drip runs. Okay, I've got my cardboard taped to the side of the counter. My epoxy is mixed and I'm going to pour it. Clean off my knife, my stir stick. Alright, so now I'm going to save a little of this. I know I don't need that much. And I'm going to use this to help spread it around. so it's even. It's supposed to be self-leveling, but they do say give it like some assistance. You can use a brush. I would be afraid to lose bristles in it and then have to pick fucking bristles. They say it can level itself for up to like 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, if you need to remove air bubbles that start rising to the surface or they get trapped, you can, that's what you use. You can either breathe on it or you use one of those torches. It's not the heat that gets rid of the bubbles. It's the carbon dioxide. I'm gonna get a little more over the edge here. There we go. I don't know. I don't have a torch lighter. I know TJ has one for his cigars. I gotta find it. Okay. So I see some bubbles. I actually just like to kind of go over the whole surface a little bit with the lighter because you can see the bubbles that come to the surface, even though before they come to the surface, you can't see bubbles. So it looks like there are none until you go over it with the lighter. I think it leveled out. It's got one little dot that it didn't run and cover. Okay, here we go over here. Nothing like preparing. I have to get another batch mixed really fucking fast right now.